Hello and good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in to our channel. And today I'm very excited to talk about one of the closest topics in my heart, which is leadership. It's because I know that some of my followers know that I was a former dean of a school in our country. That's why I like leading, and it's a humbling experience because I have learned a lot on what is the real meaning of leadership. So today, leadership is one of the most common questions in the essay part of the Career Executive Service exam in our country, the Philippines. So, like last July 2020, there was a news from some of my students that one of the questions that were asked from them to answer in the essay is that what makes a good leader, and also what are, in this time of pandemic, what are the some of the attributes or of a good leader. So most of the essay questions, even before, is always pertaining to leadership, public service, and also what makes a good organization. Those are some of the possible questions that might be asked to you in the essay examination. Of course, it varies, and do not assume that it will always be the case, but at least if that will be thrown to you, you are prepared to answer the question. In answering the essay question in your career executive examination, the essay is just like a college essay wherein you have to have a strong introduction or a hook. You have to have the body and you have to have the introduction. Of course, you have to have a thesis statement. It's the overall theme, and you have three key messages and also a conclusion. But of course, after knowing the structure of the essay, which you know already when you're in college, the important thing is the content, because the content has a very high mark. Of course, you have the organization. If you have a content, you have to organize it, and you have to check the punctuation, the grammar, the vocabulary, which is towards the end when you're already editing or proofreading your essay. So the important thing when you're getting the essay, of course, is you have to have a content. And since the question is most likely they might be asking you, or probably they might be asking you on leadership, today we're going to tackle about what makes a good leader and what is a leader, so that if it's posed to you, then you can probably answer that one. Okay, it's nice to have tips and techniques, but of course you have also to prepare with other issues and other management topics or ideas, so that you'll be most likely to be better grades in terms of your CSEW in terms of in the essay category. So it's my heart desire to be of service to you. And if you have feedback and comments, please help me also. And if you pass the exam, I will appreciate if you can help our Ceso community so that they can be better prepared for their promotion. So today, I will be focusing on the content. To be specific, I would like to focus on transformational leadership, which is also a common question in your management concepts. So a common question, on the other hand, in management concept is, it is a theory wherein there is a shared vision, or you share your vision with your employees, and they will be asking you what type of leadership is that? What type of leadership theory? You'll be given a choice like transactional, transformational, or charismatic. And of course, shared vision will be, the answer will be transformational, and they will be asking you a couple of questions about transactional leadership. So in both essay and both management concepts, it will be better that you know leadership theories so that you can answer it better. So let's move on first to a transformational leadership. Okay, Dr. Maxwell, when he was asked who is a perfect example of transformational leadership, he make mention that for him, the best example of who is a transformational leader is Jesus Christ. Number one, he said that transformational leader is known for his influence. He said that it comes of the influence, the greatest person on earth, okay, who has lived on earth rather, is Jesus. He has influenced, he said, Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. and his influence, it's over already 140 years. And he even mentioned about Milton. He even mentioned of Leonardo da Vinci. They are Christians, he said, and these people are not only believers of Jesus, but they are great followers of Jesus. And he said a lot of people who have offered their lives, have sacrifices for Jesus Christ, and that alone proves that his influence is really different. That is one great characteristic of a transformational leader. They they are not just for you because of position. They are not just for you because of your power, because of policies, because of your authority, but they are there because they love you, they follow you. And transformational leader is known for sharing that vision, and he is known to push people to a higher level. That's why John Maxwell said that if you are a transformational leader, you see what other people can't see. He said Jesus Christ saw that fishermen can be leaders. He believed that Zacchaeus, despite being dishonest, can be an honest man. He thinks differently. He thinks of long-term goals, of what people can be, instead of looking at them just who they are right now. So he also said that great transformational leaders act differently. They act with meaning. They act with long-term goals. They act with the greatest intention. Not focusing on themselves, but focusing on others. And he said that for you to be like Jesus, he also reiterates, like, to be a transformational leader, you have to first to make yourself a transformational leaders and transform people. Of course, you have to add value in their lives. And he said that how can you add value if you yourself is not valuable? That's why John Maxwell said that for you to be valuable, to be a transformational leader, you yourself should add value to yourself, to your competency, before you can influence others. And more importantly, he said that for you to be valuable to others, you have to connect with them. You have to talk with them. You have to get feedback from them. And you have to immerse yourself to be with them so that you can be a transformational leader. For more information, those are some of the ideas of John Maxwell, which he entitled Jesus as the best, or as a transformational leader, which you might check in his website or in some of his latest books. Okay, anyway, let's move on. So another question that will be asked to you, so will be, of course, that would be helping you in the essay. And of course, I would like to help you. If they ask you about good leaders, you can make mention of that. Okay, and we can also make mention later about the other aspects. So they say that transactional and transformational leaders can also help you to answer what makes a good leader, and if they ask you in your management concept, you can be able to differentiate the two. Transactional leaders are said to meet the lower needs of the employees and the hierarchy needs of Maslow, which is, of course, your physical need, the belonging need, and the safety need, while the transformational leaders meet the higher two tiers of the hierarchy of needs, which is self-esteem needs and self-actualization. So the transformational leaders not only meet the transactional needs or the lower needs, they, more importantly, they have also wanting to meet the self-esteem need of the person and self-actualization. So you make your people immersed to be better individuals. You make them see things that they don't see yet. You motivate them. Don't only give them directions, but you also motivate them to be the best you can be, so that your vision is transferred to them. Okay, so from transactional, you can uplift yourself to transformational. Also, that's the distinction between transformational and transactional, rather, and transformational, is that the transactional leaders are known for controlling people, while the transformational are said that they are famous or more known to be motivating people. This is according to www.keydifferences.com in the website. You can check that one, www.keydifferences.com. I think they have also a YouTube channel, which you can check also. And that would be their transactional or more controlling people, and motivating and inspiring people are known from transformational leaders. So the transformational leaders inspires. Your presence thrill your employees. Your words are something that they always want to listen. And I think that is something different when you're not just there to control people. You allow them to move. You allow them not to be manipulated. You just believe in them and motivate them and inspire them to be better. Another difference of the transaction and transformational, according to keydifferences.com, is that the managers in the transactional reacts to change. They don't like change. They're afraid of a change in the status quo. But the transformational leaders, they promote change. They're not afraid of change. They want people to get out of the box. They're open to the suggestions, and they share these directions clearly to their people. And the clarity of that direction is being shared, and the changes that they will implement, the direction will be shared to their people. Next one, the transactional leaders avoid conflict. They shy away from conflict, or do not appreciate much of conflict talks or conflicts to arise by either implementing punishments or rewards for those who are not talking. But in the transformational leaders, they actually uses conflict. They uses conflict as an asset. If there's conflict, they find out why and how can we better manage the company by solving this conflict and by talking this conflict. You have also the transactional leaders are known for short term, if you want to accomplish short-term goals. But if you want long-term goals and people to stay in your company, and for you to keep on training because of a big turnover, you can apply the transformational leaders, because usually the transformational leaders, the employees from this section, are said to be very happy, satisfied, okay? They are fulfilled, so they really leave the company. Another one of the difference is that the transactional leaders plan the activities, but the transformational leaders they're setting the directions, and they are actually directing and transforming their organization. And number 8, of course, the transactional leaders, they are said that they are more of efficiency, while the transformational managers are known to be more of effectiveness. So they are producing effective employees. These are some of the difference of transactional and transformational studies, but leaders rather. But let me just quote Alex, of one of the YouTuber in his communication and leadership channel, Coach Alex. You may search for him in the YouTube, and this is from him. It's not my idea, but I just find out from him, or I have listened to him once, and I like what he said. that these are, he mentioned about 5 characteristics of transformational leaders that might help you in your essay of what makes a leader, or what are the attributes of a leader, characteristics of leaders. These might help you. Number one, he said about that leaders, transformational leaders, number one, are said to be creative person. When you say create, of course, you create ideas from nothings, from a void. You'll have ideas. You create. So there are people, he said, that are non-conformists. They love out of the box. They love shaking the status quo. And he mentioned some of the great leaders are those of the innovators. And he mentioned about the great leader Kelly. He keeps on innovating. He is not afraid of innovation. That's why he said that most leaders keep on innovating, thinking, shaking the status quo, are the ones shaking the market. That's why he said that maybe like the Airbnb, he mentioned of that. Airbnb also, although in a different aspect, this is my interpretation, its explanation. Airbnb, before, the idea of you staying in a hotel that is not owned by a specific company, but by just renting, is nowhere to be found. But Airbnb introduced the concept of luxury, stay in an apartment or a hotel, or apartment, or an inn, or hostel, depends on the country and how they define it. It's actually nowhere before, but because of the creativity and innovativeness of their president or the founder, Airbnb is a company that is highly respected and appreciated by most people, with less amount of money and the same accommodation. That's why it's very famous nowadays. And he said that the president of Airbnb is very creative and such a visionary. Number two, a transformational leader, according to Alex of the Coach Alex of the Communication Leadership YouTube, is interactive. By interactive, he said that he or she is socially engaged. He has followers. And for you to have followers, you keep on listening. You keep on getting feedback. You keep your ears really functioning. And of course, more importantly is the word connect. Transformational leaders are known for connecting. They love to talk. They love to solicit ideas. They love feedback. And maybe as a dean of a college before, this is one of the skill that I've developed. Before, I felt like that I should not be more of a student-centered, or maybe I'll just be pro-faculty, but being a dean helped me to listen to students, their concerns, their feedback, and of course it also made me listen to faculty members. And my 7 years of being a dean makes me to have listening ear, because I realize the importance of the time you invest to other people. Until now that I'm not a dean anymore, I'm a faculty member, I have honed the skill of listening to my students. I have loved it. Before, I shy away from listening. Now, if students message me, I respond. If students call me in the messenger, I respond. If I try to connect to them in the social media, and if they need my help, I try to encourage them. I'm not perfect, but what I would say that being a dean made me a better person in terms of the listenings. I realize now why God have given us 2 ears and 1 mouth, because ears are a very important factor for it to be a transformational leadership. And maybe we are designed to be a transformational leader as well. That's why He gave us 2 ears. Number 3, a leader is a visionary, of course. Your vision has to be shared. to other people. That's why maybe Martin Luther is also a great leader, because he had a dream. And according to Alex, he said that it was a vision-based example. Martin Luther actually tell the people of where he wants the organization to grow. That's why he emerged as one of the greatest leaders of our time. Number 4 is a leader. Transformational leader is empowering. When you empower, you allow people to grow. You allow people, you delegate tasks from them, so that they will see that you believe in them, and it will boost their self-confidence. And he said that one of the most empowering leaders is Phil Knight of Nike. He said that Phil Knight has empowered his employees. He has always encouraged them and treat them and delegate jobs for his employees. And he said that's why Nike emerged to be one of the greatest shoemakers, because of this great leader by the name of Phil Knight. Okay, and the 5th one, according to Coach Alex, is a transformational leader is passionate. He is very passionate, and his commitment is electrifying people. He mentioned about Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was already 87 years old. Once she was hospitalized, the doctors and the nurses were shocked. She wanted to get out of the hospital just to serve the people that he loves. And despite of the sickness, and despite of extraordinary challenges and failures, Mother Teresa still was committed to serve the poor and her country. Okay, so in Ceso examination, you have, of course, after you have the content, you have to organize it, and do not forget the introduction and the conclusion. Again, the format will be, you have to have, for a full-blown essay, you have to have the powerful introduction and hook. You have the 3, if you can make 3 body paragraphs with 3 key concepts, and then you have to have the conclusion. So if you'd like to make mention what makes a good leader, you can make an introduction about how leadership is important to any organization and to any country. You can make mention about a good leader, and then you can make mention why Korea is such a great country now. It's because of Mr. Park Mr. Park Ji-hoon, or known to be General Park. My apologies, I forgot, but I have read an article about him. He's one of the greatest leader in Korea in terms of economic transformation. He promised his support to the conglomerates, the LG, the Lotte, the Samsung, and he encouraged them to be of their best. He encouraged them for loans, tax incentives, and he shaped the history of Korea from very poor third world country to and he was really a person that moved the changes in Korea. That's why now it has moved from third to first country. He is one of the mover, General Park. And you can make mention how leaders can change by making mention in your introduction. And then if you'd like to make mention of the 3 characteristics in the body, you can mention about that a great leader, number 1, has a shared vision. You can make mention of Martin Luther. Number 2, you can make mention that great leader is a motivator. He motivates people to do their best. You can make mention about, of course, Jesus Christ, that don't be only look at you right now, but looks of who you can be. And also, number 3, you can put there that a great leader is passionate. You can see life in him, enthusiasm. Just to make mention that enthusiasm came from the word inferior, life. Every time people look at you, you're very passionate in terms of speaking, in terms of communicating, in terms of doing your work, and there's no question that you love what you're doing. and that your job is not only a job as a leader, but it's your career. It is something that you feel that you're fulfilled every day and you are happy doing it. Better yet, joyful. It, it is a world that, despite what's happening, you really like doing and being great about. Nonetheless, in management concepts, I can be of help to you. Please put a comment so that I can tackle about management concepts. I hope in the future I can discuss about logical reasoning, likewise, social awareness. I know a lot about grammar and the sentence construction because I have trained a lot of executives already. Okay, I did not work for government. I am not also a Ceso passer, but by God's grace, I have trained a lot of Ceso passer, and I was trained one of the greatest review centers in the Philippines to be their management trainer. So I have trained for Ceso for almost 7 years. And being my master's degree is in communication, actually. I know a lot about conflict management, media planning, public relations. Me. And my PhD is in research. I love researching and also in linguistics. That's why when they asked me to be a trainer of Ceso, I didn't decline because when I look at the modules of that review center, it's one of the best and I've learned a lot. They supported me a lot. And what I'm sharing to you is a product. It's not solely my knowledge. It's actually a product of one of the greatest review centers in the Philippines, which is MSA. Thanks to our president, MSA executives, okay, that I have learned a lot. And some of these are not the results of my research only, but also the because of the training, the great training I have received from that review center. So if you need more trainings, a thorough and an extensive review, you can go to, or you can inquire to MSA Katipunan, which is our head office. I am from a branch. I'm not from there, but the materials came from there, and they have great materials that they'll be providing to you with a complete instructions of concepts in management from the pre-classical to the modern theories. I can give you only a bit, but their training is so thorough that I'll be recommending it. They have trainings and they have thorough booklets and modules on your mathematical data interpretation. They have a thorough module on your logical reasoning. They have a thorough training on answering situations like that they'll be giving you and how to tackle or to handle employees with different development skills or development stage. And I love logical reasoning. I have trained also some Ceso takers there. And maybe because of 7 years experience, I would say that I'm a better trainer now in terms of management. Not only because of MSA, the trainings I received from them, the support from the people or the owners of the company, but more importantly also the Ceso executives, the passers that have made me better. They're telling me, some of them are telling me what the exams were. Some of them are thanking me if they have passed the examination. Some of them are giving me feedback. So I am not a Ceso passer, but maybe because of my readings, because of my experience, because of my interaction with the Ceso executives, which I'm so thankful, people in the government. Thank you so much for allowing me to work with you. I have learned a lot from you. These knowledge I can help that you have taught me also, these executives, I'm trying to put to my private practice. And also I want to thank, of course, the civil service board. I am also constantly updating myself of their trainings and updates. So some of my opinions here are just opinions. Some of them may not are just based on my knowledge and my experience. And of course, you are better than I am in terms of public practice, in terms of policy, in terms of other issues. But what I'm sharing to you is the result of my training, my experience, and my love for research, of course, and my passion for helping people to pass their CSSW exam, their CSE management exam, among other academic related and organizational exams. If you have more comments, more suggestions, the comment box is there. And I just want to thank you for appreciating my YouTube video. You encourage me a lot. I think I have reached 3,000 views. Thank you to the Ceso executives and to the other people who keep on listening. I hope in the next future I can share you more about leadership, which is one of my favorite topics. I love TQMs also. I love situational leadership. I love charismatic and different types of leaders. They have their own strengths. That's why the theories are there to help you, to guide you. It depends on the situations. But of course, these theories, it's not perfect. But of course, we can learn a lot from each theory. And of course, as future executives who will be passing the CESO exam, my congratulations in advance, and I hope we can continue to be better servants of this country. Happy New Year, and may God bless us and bless this country for the betterment and for the glory of God. See you soon. Thank you so much.